or another, whether you enjoyed it or not, you probably have done some type of schoolwork or some type of work that was assigned during your career, your profession, and you just had to either pull an all-nighter or stay up until the 3 or 4 a.m.s. Now, usually when people do this, they are always accompanied by a half-drunken cup of coffee or some type of caffeinated drink. Now, caffeine is a drug that follows us everywhere, both in our own personal lives and in the lives of others, and a lot of people are addicted to it without knowing. On May 24th, through the Healthline magazine, Darko Jasimovic stated that over 1 billion people in the world drink coffee every day. And in the United States alone, 64% of adults drink coffee every single morning. And that's just coffee, that's not even caffeinated drinks. Chances are either you or someone you know do drink coffee or any type of caffeinated drinks. And that also includes that someone you know or yourself has a caffeine addiction. Now, I'm going to talk about what does caffeine addiction look like and how do people actually get started in their dependence with caffeine and how someone can slow down their addiction with coffee or caffeine. In order to talk about caffeine dependence, we also need to know what it looks like. According to Coffee and Health in their caffeine independence page, posted in October of 2017, one of the most noticeable symptoms linked to caffeine addiction is withdrawal. So without your morning coffee, if you feel unusual drowsiness, mood swings, trouble falling asleep, feeling very jittery, slight memory issues, stomach aches, or even difficulties going to the bathroom, chances are you are addicted to caffeine or your body is dependent on caffeine. Now, if you are related to any of these symptoms, don't worry. Over 30% of caffeine consumers are addicted to caffeine, and they don't know it. So you're not alone, no problem. Nonetheless, knowing or not knowing about caffeine and its dependence, how much present it is in our lives, is a problem one way or another, and we need to talk about it. The reason why caffeine and caffeine addiction is so popular and so widely spread amongst honestly any type of age range is its initial effect on the body. According to Deborah Witherspoon on a Healthline publication of July 14th, 2017, she states how caffeine is a stimulant drug, meaning that it interferes and binds off with your certain chemical receptors in your brain, such as dopamine, which is responsible for your mood, and adenosine, which regulates your sleep. So, because caffeine makes someone less sleepy and more energetic overall, it obviously is desired by the original target audience that I mentioned in the beginning of the video. A lot of students and young adults especially depend on caffeine or coffee in order to do their work or to survive school, as a lot of them state. So what usually happens is that these students or these very young workers, they start drinking coffee at a relatively young age, and so because their body becomes dependent on it, they carry it into adulthood, which is when they will probably never really shake it off. Now, currently, caffeine and its outcomes can be seen anywhere from our schools to our workplaces. It really shows its abundance and its dependency on most of the people that are around us. Knowing that caffeine is everywhere and that especially sometimes it's targeted towards young people that they know will carry into adulthood, it's important to know how we can overcome caffeine addictions. The first step is to know what products you consume or other people consume have caffeine. According to a research/study done by Ron Rocky on October 2nd, 2011, through the Daily Sundial, he discovered that most of the following products have caffeine. Tea, some types of decaffeinated products, energy drinks, chocolate, supplements, coffee espressos, sodas, and some more beverages. Now, if you are unsure that a specific product or beverage has or does not have caffeine, it's important to check the nutrition label that usually is posted on the back along with the calories and things like that. That way you can know how much caffeine is in the product, if there even is caffeine at all, and if there is, you should probably put it away, especially if you have a caffeine dependence. Now, the second step in order to cut caffeine, which is almost as equally as important, is to not only take it off your diet, but also replace it with something else. Some ways you can lower your own dependency is through drinking more water and putting some type of replacement with less caffeine. So for example, if you drink a coffee every single morning, try drinking some sort of caffeinated tea, which even though it still has caffeine in it, it is a less of a dosage, and slowly you can take it out of your diet or of your daily ritual. And you can also use exercise as another type of stimulant, because as I mentioned before, caffeine, the drug, really does have this binding off stimulant on your dopamine receptors and some other receptors. So any type of exercise can really help substitute it in your own brain and make everything go back to normal. Overall, it is simple to see how not only caffeine but also its dependence truly is completely around us. Now, it is easy to get lured in on depending on caffeine, but it really is important to know how to stop and when to stop, and especially how to get better. So even though caffeine is not a hard-hitting drug like other stimulants that are in its category, it still targets young people and it conditions minds to being addicted without knowing, which is a little bit problematic. And even though caffeine is a big part of our lives, knowing how to decrease its usages and controlling its own levels makes a huge difference on your own life and your own behavior. So even though having a cup of coffee in the morning does seem really great and it feels really great, nothing really does feel as good as knowing that you are in control of your own life, your own body, and your own mind. Thank you for listening.